And welcome to Warrior Stadium on the campus of Taylorsville High School, the site of a West High School football game on the Rewind Sports Network, brought to you by Faucia Construction. Dusty Lister, pleased to be joined for the first time in my lifetime. The Brown Bear, Brian Brown, going to do a game together. This is going to be a lot of fun. Region 2 matchup. West has been rolling right through Region 2. Taylorsville, after a strong start, they've fallen on some hard times. But a Thursday night kickoff, pretty fun again, just to get West back on the football field. But this Taylorsville team trying to aim to get better on the field.
Well, it's the first time in my lifetime as well, as far as I'm aware, Dusty. Not the first time that I've seen either of these teams this year, and you're exactly right with what's about to happen tonight. This is a West Side team that we're just kind of waiting for them to take that next step to become one of the upper echelon programs in the state. Meanwhile, Taylorsville trying to climb out of it right now. Yeah. Started the year off really well. They're looking sharp tonight, though. I will say that much.
Yes, they
Look
are.
good, feel good, play good. And like you said, anything can happen on a Thursday night.
Well, and as you mentioned coming in, it's the most colorful sideline. And not because of attitude or anything else, because the coaches are all wearing different colors. I was like, hey, we're not in October yet, but they're wearing all kinds of different awareness colors tonight.
Yeah, we've got like a shade of pink, and I'm not here with the PNC chart, so I can't tell you exactly which one that is. A nice teal, it looks like. Maybe a couple purples down there. Easy to see the coaches for sure.
Yeah.
I have to wonder if maybe that's part of the game plan with Taylorsville. Who knows?
Well, we're setting a start to be Taylorsville football as they are in their blacks, and we are underway. West High football on the KSL Sports Rewind Network. Up all fumbled inside the 5-yard line. Picked up coming near side, and the Warriors
David Conan
are going to have, they'll be negative about 15 yards.
Across the 10 where the Warriors.
I'm a little surprised there wasn't a flag there for a little late toss, but not going to have one. And on the return, I believe, for Taylorsville was number 20, David Conan.
Yeah, Conan with a nice little recovery there after bobbling the ball a little bit. Not great field position for Taylorsville, and that's really a problem against this West Side defense because this is a very strong, aggressive defense. You can just see it size-wise up front. They are massive.
Welcome sophomore quarterback Cole Kramer. He started the season very, very strongly, and it's gotten a little stiffer in competition. Things have dropped a little bit, but you expect that from a young sophomore as a running back goes the wrong way and then throws it out of bounds. Remember, this is not college football. There's no in the pocket. It's got to get the ball out of bounds across the line of scrimmage.
Play there, but that's
and we'll go to 2nd and 10.
Yeah, smart job. Just get rid of the football, live to play another day, and you see it immediately. Your read's not open. Just get rid of it. Don't make the problem worse.
It's amazing at all, well, let's go, 4 levels, how often you see in that zone read the running back go the wrong direction. Tyler Algier did it on Sunday for the Falcons in his first run inside the red zone.
Yeah, we saw it a couple times in the Utah and the BYU games on Saturday as well.
Akko going to get on 2nd down. He's buried in the backfield.
Akko on the carry.
Front for West is big, it's mean, and it is Saleti Afiaki with the stop.
Yeah, and he's just an absolute beast in the middle there. You said it's big and it's mean. It's also loaded with a lot of D1 talent. This is becoming a haven for college coaches from all over the country, not just Utah, BYU. Big 10, Pac-12. Everybody wants to come to West High and see these guys play.
You see Oregon on last Saturday, 8 players from the state of Utah.
Incredible.
They had their two linebackers, both Utahns. Amazing. Sewell and Jeff Bassa. As we are 3rd down and 11 for the Warriors. And going to keep it on the ground once again. And Akko has nowhere to go. Slips out of 1 tackle. He's not going to slip out of 3 and 4. And on the stop for West is going to be number 1. That's Ryder Messina. And it is 4th down. The punting unit will come on.
Remember, when West has the ball, we want to make
and that's not really how you want to start that game. It's rougher than a pine cone toilet seat, Dusty. A 3 and out to start things off. But the good news is no critical mistakes. You have a chance to get on defense, maybe stop this West attack, and kind of get some momentum going again.
So a little late addition to the punt team. Back deep around midfield is Sesi Vailahi for the Panthers. Looking for a good snap on the operation here. Pressure coming, gets a left-footed kick away. And that'll take a Warrior bounce around the 40 and continue to roll toward midfield.
Brandon Gussman
so
with
a 49-yard kick there.
To the 50-yard line.
And that will bring out this West High offense.
On defense.
As you've gotten accustomed to see, we're going to watch one of the most exciting quarterbacks in all the state of Utah, and Isaiah Suisui.
Yeah, and he's really developed as a talent this year. He's starting to emerge. We saw him. He's kind of found a target there in Charlie Hamilton, it seems, and they're developing that rapport. Hamilton had an excellent game.
Holbrook.
He's looking to build. Sorry, you're right. Sorry, Charlie Holbrook. Too many H's out there. Too many Charlies, too.
Right.
So we'll see what they can do with this first drive.
Going to start from the shotgun. Suisui going to throw. He's got a man over the middle. This is Vailahi making the grab inside the 20, 10, 5. West Side touchdown.
Pass to number 11 goes for a touchdown for West.
And you can see the speed of Vailahi there. He just takes it in stride.
That's awesome.
Not even able to be contained by the end zone as he runs out the back of it. He's so quick, so fast. That's an easy, quick score for this West High offense. Not great news for Taylorsville. Really great news if you're a West High Panther fan.
You work that middle of the field from the slot. Get that safety to widen out however way they did it. And a beautiful ball from Suisui. There's some late additions on the PAT team here for the Panthers. A rare field here in the state of Utah without a play clock down on the field. We're going old school with the back judge count. The kick is
PAT
up,
is good.
and it is good with 9:59 left.
7 for West.
In the first quarter, it is West leading 7-0. You're watching West High football on the KSL Sports Network, presented by Falcia Construction.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a
And welcome back into Warrior Field. Dusty
Dante
Lister
Walton
and
back to
Brian
receive
Brown
the
with you.
kick.
So excited to have you alongside tonight. Thursday night, we're getting a little crisper here in the state of Utah. It finally feels like fall.
Yeah, I'm wearing a sweater, and it's not the one that I keep under my shirt, to keep me warm year round. So you know that it's getting cold and chilly when I'm wearing long sleeves and even pants,
Hey,
Dusty. It's a big deal.
When I'm leaving the office today and thinking, you know what, I got to make sure to keep my jacket. And I got a hoodie with me. I'm used to being in the studio, so just so you all know, Red Zone will be on tomorrow night. Myself and Jeff Hansen. Been an absolute blast working with Jeff this fall in the Red Zone. We'll be back on tomorrow night. Brian's got a game tomorrow out in Stansbury.
Traveling the world. The world of Utah high school football, that is.
Get to see Easton Baker, the young man I talked about. You're going to be able to see from space one day.
And he might be able to hit it with the way that he explodes off the ball. He's incredible.
And a little pooch kick here from West, going to test Taylorsville's awareness. And yet two Panthers nearly got on top of that ball, but it will be Taylorsville football is wisely getting on top of that.
26
well, that's exactly right. You're trying to test that awareness of that Taylorsville special teams, and they were not aware. In fact, the only reason that West didn't get that ball was because it bounced almost too easily into their hands. Like you see, it was covered there by Jordan Carl, able to secure it, and now Taylorsville actually has decent field position. So we'll see if that gives them a little bit of a little bit more juice. See if maybe they can get back on the same page and get something going. They have to.
They have to. Leland Akko, the deep back in the pistol, on 1st and 10, going to keep the ball on the ground once again. And again, that front from West is not to be moved. As is Afiaki once again. Is he a Tana Afiaki relative? I got to imagine he is, but I'm sure there's more than one branch Afiakis.
Yeah, when it's an Afiaki tree, you have to figure that the roots are probably all in the same generation. But that's a tough way to attack this West defense to try and run up the middle there. I mean, there's more beef than you and I get on a Burger of Lucky 13, or JCW's, wherever
the
your
Big
burger
H.
choice is. Yeah, there you go.
You're a Ute. I know that's where you hit. 2nd down and 9. We've got to work on that sponsorship. 3-1. Going to throw the bubble near side. That ball was skipped. They said it was backwards, and on the reception
pass
was
scooped up
Faliola.
by Faliola.
And he gets a
Gains
yard,
about
maybe
4
two,
yards.
out to the 29-yard
3
line to
yards.
make it 3rd down and long for the Warriors.
Yeah, it's a nice job by Faliola to scoop the ball up and get some positive yards there. Might have had a little bit more if he could have gotten outside a little bit, trusted his blockers a little bit more, but that's really what Taylorsville has to do. They have to attack the edges of this Westside defense.
Well, now they got to find a way here on 3rd down and 7. You know, the shortest distance between 2 points, you got to attack the middle of the field. It's really hard to live outside the numbers. On 3rd and long. Here we go, 3rd and 7. Gonna throw, fires out to the flat. Oh my goodness. Laid out to dry, and now a flag comes in on a personal foul as Akko was blown up. And Brian, I'm all for player safety.
There is a flag on the play.
That was clean. I'm all for keeping kids safe. That was clean.
I'm with you 100% here. I'm trying to find a polite way of saying, like, that's a football play right there, Dusty. And, look, we do need to keep the players safe. Sometimes it's such a big hit, though, that there's the emotional reaction that maybe hurts a little bit more than the actual physical one. It was a great play by the West defense. Unfortunately, this is part of high school football, overcome adversity.
Well, I was willingly at the BYU Baylor game. You were begrudgingly at the BYU Baylor game. That was not the same hit from the BYU. This was not the same hit from the BYU Baylor game that ejected on a targeting.
Brought to you by
because it was the same situation, but not the same hit.
Legal play, right? Yeah. A form tackle to the proper area.
Outside of the shoulder, too.
Yeah, that's exactly how you teach it. So if you're the coach on the sideline, if you're Coach Junior over there, Salova, you're going to take your guy and say, hey, tough break, great hit. Let's do it again in practice next week.
Akko again on the carry, and nothing happening. Is on the stop there for the West Panthers was Fai Mafili Snuka. He's super fly on that one.
Yeah, and Snuka is very super fly on that one. Reference for the older folk out there for sure, of which you and I are that variety. But this is, again, like we were talking about. You're trying to attack the middle of the defense. You're trying to attack them right at the heart. Go at the edges. Those corners can't hold up all game long, right? Not even at the college or the NFL level are they going to hold up every play.
It's one of those things, test eye discipline and see what you can get with guys being ultra aggressive.
Try and get something big early.
2nd down and 12. Pressure comes, going to fire up the rail. That was a Wedding Crashers hot route. He knew it was coming. Took it right on the chin, and the receiver hooked up. He threw it deep.
Sack lunch there was coming from West High School, and it's a great decision by number 7, our quarterback, just to throw the ball, get it out of there, and see the frustration on the receiver's face because he felt he was open. He probably was, but it's a great decision. Just get the ball away. Don't take the hit. Don't take the sack. Live to play again another day.
Taimani Brown came free. Yeah. He came as free bird of Leonard Skinner.
Yeah. Well, you know that Brown family.
Great last name.
I can say that because I played with Manaya's little brother, Pawnee, at Highland.
Yeah, Manaya, his son, out in the slot here on 3rd down and 12. Again, going to throw. Pressure coming. Steps up and is buried. Not a soul to be found in a black plaid jersey. And he is sacked, and on the 36-yard line,
bringing up 4th down for the Warriors.
Khalil Laufau.
Yeah, and he was joined there by Kaimani Lautani as well. Lautani, excuse me. It was just, it's a party in the backfield for this West High defense right now. So listen, you've made some progress if you're T-ville. That's some steps, right? You can get some momentum. Get a big kick. Your punter did well last time. See if you can get him back. Tighten up those screws a little bit on defense. You're still in this game.
Yeah.
Nothing's over yet.
7:06 left here in the first. Again, a left-footed kick. Sidewinder. It's going to take, again, a Warrior roll inside the 30-yard line, and it'll be West High football at the 27.
With a nice punt. It's a good roll.
Gives us a chance to thank our sponsors of West High football on the Rewind Sports Network. Omi Photo by Naomi Messina is located at 7819 South Highland Drive in Collinwood Heights. Whether you're looking for the photo shoot with your family, team, family occasion, come support Naomi at Omi Photo at 801-949-6365. Again, that's 801-949-6365. I want to thank Omi Photo for supporting West High football on KSL Sports Rewind Sports Network. On 1st and 10, Sui. Plenty of time. Going to go deep once again. Got a man behind the defense. And the catch is made on the back pedal by Jacob Wilson.
To number 15
and the Panthers are inside Taylorsville territory at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, and that's the one thing we talked about, right? You don't want to give up that big play first thing, but you can see how talented this wide receiver core and the connection that they're building there with Sui, the quarterback. They got the guys up front to do it. This is you just got to build it on the back end.
That's 2 completions between the hash marks. Attack in the middle of the field. And that's going to be an offside penalty on Taylorsville.
Flag on the play, encroachment by the defense.
Just unable to hold the water there were the Warriors. And one of the toughest calls in high school football. essentially it's defense false start. Because a lot of times guys didn't come in the neutral zone. It's just that they come out of their stance. And you get the flag and free 5 yards here.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right that we let the NFL guys get away with it, but not our high school kids,
And
right?
collegiate athletes. So on 1st and 5, going to throw this inside there on the stick route, and is Wilson inside the red zone to the 18, call it 17-yard line, and we'll move the chains once again for the Panthers.
Again.
Yeah, you can see the speed that this wide receiver core has. Wilson, a lot of twitch to his game, able to take a short catch, 5-7 yards, and move the sticks. That's a big thing. We talk about yak when I go on air with JT. That's a good example of it right there.
Holbrook in the slot nearest to Sui, who's got 16 touchdown passes on the evening. That includes the first drive. Isaiah feels pressure, rolls to his right, fires short, and that ball is incomplete. The first non-gain or positive yardage play of the night that's out of the hands of Fafita. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Pass, which falls incomplete.
Yeah, Fafita's a guy that they're really waiting to break out. He's had a little bit of a back issue this year. So it's good to see that he's able to go tonight at all. But you can see right there, not able to reach down, pick up that pass. Not the worst of passes. Could get a hand on it. You got to think if he's healthy,
right?
That's probably a catch.
And I'm sure Uncle Kalani is watching as well. Again, Holbrook in the slot.
It's a who's who of family ties here with West
Absolutely. Going to throw to the corner. He's got Holbrook. Oh, and the green-gloved Holbrook could not bring that one in. It'll be the first 3rd down of the evening for West.
Yeah, well, normally green means go there.
Huge 3rd down.
Holbrook just didn't go enough. Sui really
Let's
laid that one out there. I thought he had him out
some
front.
noise.
Shows how just talented Holbrook really is, and he was able to make it that close.
And that's one of those balls, hey, either he catches it or nobody catches it, right? And Holbrook just unable to get to it.
Exactly where you want it if you're the offensive coordinator, right? Like out of reach of any defenders.
I can see Brian Brown talking about that on his film breakdown on Mondays.
That's exact. We've been teasing things I haven't even talked about yet.
I know. Empty set, going to throw. Sui feels pressure, and Sui goes down.
Sacked by number 25.
And getting in there with sack is Mino
Otu. With a big play.
And it's a 4th down here for Coach Junior Solovi to choose what to do. Imagine he's going to go for here on 4th down from the Warrior 25.
Yeah, it is 4th and long here, but you've seen West be able to complete those passes. They've kind of fallen in love with the passing game right now, and you're seeing some momentum swing in Taylorsville favor. This could be a huge stop.
It almost felt like they were set for a draw there at that empty set. But the pressure got there, Otu. So 4th down and long. Sui steps up, looking, got a man, fires, and complete. In and out of the hands of the corner.
Walton
It'll be a turnover on downs. That would have been 6. Dante Walton
strong.
broke it up. But it's a turnover on downs in Warriors football.
Well, the only disappointing part about that is he had nothing but green grass to tackle him. If he was able to reel that one in, would have been able to flip the scoreboard. Nevertheless, they get the turnover on downs. I do have to say one thing, though, Dusty. We do have another enlistee in the pancake platoon tonight.
All right.
Yeah, as Samisi Tonga is able to bring another brother into the platoon. Great job out there, Samisi.
You and it's been good. I've listened to that all season long on the red zone whenever he brings stuff in.
No pancake cookies tonight. Couldn't get JT's mom, Kelly, to get that going for us.
Well, they wouldn't have made him down there. She knows
have.
that Dusty was here.
They
would
wouldn't
not have made it to the field.
Yeah, and they're delicious cookies.
So 1st and 10 after holding on defense on the 4th down. Go back to the ground, and once again, might need to figure out if they can go by air, because right now, going by land does not work as Snuka once again comes off the top rope for the stop.
15.
Again, we talk about it. You just can't go to the middle of this defense. And you see Akko try to reverse field, trying to create anything, and just gets himself in more trouble. 5-yard loss there. Now you're in 2nd and long, and this makes it much more daunting for Taylorsville. That's where you can get more aggressive if you're West High.
So after the loss, 2nd down and 15 is this rush defense from West is on point. They're going to go fly sweep near side, have to widen out. Watch the pursuit of the white shirt defense with a big chop inside the 10-yard line.
David
How about that
Coleman
blow
on the
to the
jet
ball,
sweep.
scraping all the way there was Sesi Vailahi.
Yeah, Vailahi finishes the play, but it's a great job there by Kaimani Lautami.
Bring up a long third down for the Warriors.
I'm going to get that one by the end of the game, I promise, Kaimani. Great job of him to force the action outside, allow his guys to get there and gang tackle it. And that just, I mean, now Taylorsville's in real deep trouble, right?
3rd and forever after the 4th down stop. You felt maybe they get to flip the field once again and keep West having to climb upfield all night. Inside of 3:50 left. They're going to throw a quick little slip screen, and once again, nothing doing. Is coming over to make the stop for West was Taimani Brown. And it is 4th down, and the pony unit on once again for the Warriors.
Well, you see that it's not just about athleticism with this West High football team. It's the discipline. It's the technique. That's a great tackle. They're able to go to the targeting area on the back, hit him between the hip and the thigh, wrap that leg up, and pull him down so you don't get up any additional yards. If you get up 3 or 4 yards, that's a huge win if you're West at that point.
So on to punt. Vailahi is back, going to take it at the 45-yard line. He's dropped quickly.
Gusman with
and it gives us a chance to again thank NC Payments, one of our great sponsors. Do you own a business that accepts payment by credit cards? Come work with National Card Payments. They're locally owned credit card processing company that has over 22 years of experience. Get a free quote and see how much they can help you. They love to support local community and are offering a $100 Visa gift card for any business that signs up for their merchant services this season. Find out how much they can save your company on your credit card processing fees. Call or text them today at 801-923-8125. Again, that's 801-923-8125. National Card Payments, the company that cares. So 1st and 10 for the Panthers on plus side of the 50. Going to work the ground for the first time tonight. Dive inside the 40-yard line. A gain of 6 on 1st down. And on the carry for the Panthers, number 44, Ty Arona.
Well, it's nice to know that Coach Stalovi's listening to us on the broadcast. I asked for the run game. They come right out and give it to me. Thanks, Junior. Appreciate it. But it's a 6-yard gain there, right on 1st down. Gets you right into 2nd and shorter. That's a great situation to be in.
And go back to the ground. It is Arona. Ty Arona inside the 30. Rumbles inside the 25. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 24.
Well, there's no tie that went to the runner that time because he won that series with a 15-yard gain. Dusty, they're going to have to separate us at halftime. We're going to have way too many boomerisms out here. But it's a great run, and this offensive line, you can see them. They're just so dominant in the trenches. They handle their business. There's that little misdirection, that split zone look going on in the backfield, trying to confuse the linebackers, and they're doing a great job of it.
Yeah. Rono Don in the 44, running strong between the tackles, like the Diesel did back in the day. Going to go a little fake on the fly sweep. And it's going to be Sui inside the 5. Isaiah into the end zone. Touchdown.
Quarterback
Isaiah Sui.
gets a touchdown for West.
Well, it's one thing if you can do it in the air with your arm. It's another if you can do it on the ground with your legs, and you see it. He's just an elite athlete out there. At about the 10-yard line, I started putting my hands up because it was just that clear. He was going to get a tremendous athletic play there by Sui.
Coach Sean
and
McNiven.
West is up 13-0 pending that PAT here in the first quarter.
It's all eye discipline, right? You fake the fly sweep, the Vailahi, everyone flows. I mean, that thing just parted like the Red Sea, and all that was left was to beat them to the corner of the end zone. Field goal is good with 1:59 left in the opening quarter. It is West 14.
My bad.
At Taylorsville 0, you're watching West High Football on the Rewind Sports Network. And welcome back into Warrior Stadium. Again, West High Football on the Rewind Sports Network, presented by Faucia Construction. And also want to thank Mountain Ops, a local nutrition company helping, Mountain OPS. You think I would know, I helped get these all together. Is a local nutrition company helping improve the lives of individuals and families through high-quality supplements and conquer hunger meal donations. And you see these guys at Harmon's give someone else a free plug. You see Mountain OPS. sitting on the or Mountain Ops sitting on the shelves.
Well, I won't make you do a dry scuba pre-workout with me like I normally do when I'm on the podcast because we're getting late tonight. But we need to see Taylorsville add some juice to the It looks like they got something going here.
But all the white shirts flowed to the football.
Dante Walton.
And Dante Walton
nice
on the
return to the
20-yard line.
Out of 19.
You know, I don't do 2 in one day. You know, we got a late workout in today. We're still on the pump. So out comes, again, this West High defense that has not surrendered, I don't think, a positive yard on the ground tonight. Through 3 drives for Taylorsville. And for Taylorsville, they've tried to find ways to soften up this team, Brian, but there aren't a lot of places that they've been able to find success.
The biggest thing has been the miscommunication, right? Like, wrong direction on a few plays. So I don't think it's things that they can't settle into and get done. We saw a little bit there on the edge in terms of the bubble screen pass. Maybe you can go back to that. You know, on first down, they've been pretty consistent trying to run up the middle. We'll see if they maybe change their attitude here a little bit.
So Kramer comes out for another possession, fires the speed out, and nothing doing, but they're going to get the flag and a free 15 yards on the pass interference. And it'll be a first down. That's Ty Kirkman, the intended receiver. Young man leads Taylorsville with 5 receiving touchdowns on the season.
Yeah, he's a big receiver out there, not necessarily tall, but a real stocky receiver, and you see the defensive back, number 21, has a hard time getting around him. Try to get the ball, try to tip it away, maybe avoid the pass interference, but just way too much contact, and that finally gets Taylorsville some positive yards, albeit not necessarily the way they might want it to, but at this point you'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. You might not want help, but you got help to get you where you want to go, so move the chains to first down.
Like me with my dating life, I'll take all the help I can get. So.
We got a officials first down. I don't think they gave him 10 yards. Was it defensive holding? Okay, so they called defensive holding, not pass interference. The chain gang thought it was pass interference too. They were walking. They're heading north. But here we go. 1:49 left in the quarter. 1st and 10 after the defensive holding penalty. Akko gets a gain of 2 on first down. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
Gain of 2. It'll bring
You're seeing that Taylorsville offensive line start to settle in a little bit. They're sustaining their blocks a little bit more. And that's why you do want to stay with the run game, even if it's not effective early on, right? Because those guys are going to settle in. You're going to start getting a little bit more movement. That defense is going to tire out. Just not able to get those big, explosive 4, 5, 6, 7 yard gains that you really want to see on first down.
And I'll give this to Taylorsville, right? You don't want to abandon the run completely because then you're just asking for it.
Yeah. Just don't run right into the double-A gaps there.
And on 2nd and 8, West shows pressure, brings pressure, and Akko had no shot. High snap. Kramer just got to it. Akko had nowhere to go. As he's buried by a host of Panthers.
Oh, it's like your HVAC guy. You're only calling him when there's a problem. The same thing with the center there from Taylorsville, right? The high snap disrupts the rhythm of everything, allows that West High defense. And again, you know, they're out there because they're an aggressive, strong, physical defense, and they're going to get in that backfield one way or another. You have any kind of mistakes like that, it's really going to make it difficult to get positive yards.
So it'll be 3rd down and 12 after the loss on the run. And West has been very aggressive in this drive of bringing extra bodies. Going to rush through 4, play a little game up front. Oh, that's a big hit. And now the flag for the taunt at the end of that play.
There is a flag on the play.
That's certainly what it was. It was the little Shania Twain shimmy, shake, Mick the earthquake, and out comes the flag, and it'll be a first down for Taylorsville.
Yeah, and look, you know, West High has dominated this game early on, but you do not want to give guys an opportunity to get back into this with that kind of play. You know, it is a great play. It's a great tackle. Go celebrate with your brothers. Don't do it out there alone. Even Shania Twain has a backup
against West that will give the Warriors another first down.
They'll go across the 45 to the 47-yard line after the personal foul penalty or unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
That first down brought to you by Oakwood Homes.
So another fresh set of downs for Taylorsville.
And you can see Ryder Messina telling his secondary, calm down a little bit, take it down a notch. You know, I think for a team like West, this is a tough game, right? It's a Thursday night game. It's a little early. You know, you've watched the tape. You know what Taylorsville is, and you know who you've played. You played one of the top teams in the country in modern day. So this one could seem a little bit like a snoozer, and they have to stay disciplined, stay focused.
Well, at the end of the first quarter, it is a 2-score advantage for West. West Panthers 14, Taylorsville 0. You are watching West High Football on the Rewind Sports Network, brought to you by Faustia
It's time to go
Construction.
grab some munchies.
At UCCU,
Hey, we're wasting no time. Welcome back in. Start of the second quarter. Dusty Litster and Brian Brown is. Ooh, I think that's offside.
I would agree. I concur, Dusty.
I know you got to disrupt the point on trips. Got to be post snap.
Yeah. Well, we had a backside wide receiver getting off early, too, so it was just a lot of excitement, just like us, ready to get into the second quarter here. And so it'll be interesting to see what the call is here because, like you said, you've got the West High defender that wants to initiate and stop the point of attack. But you also have the Taylorsville wide receiver. You see that West High defender move, so that's why he's going. That's probably what they're debating here.
Yeah, they're going to go offside on this. And line judge and side judge both got together on this one. And, it's funny, you made mention of the game against Mater Dei, and I think there was a law I was going to bring out about what West got from that game was that Mater Dei took them seriously, right? There's only about respect your opponent enough to give them your best game every night, right? And stay buttoned up and go. And that's some stuff that I think you can always draw on when you're Coach Solo V later on in the years, get deeper and deeper in Region 2 play, you get more dominant, is, hey, you got to remember, Mater Dei treated us like we were the best opponent that week.
Well, and understandably so, because this team is laden with talent. We talked about the Brown brothers, the front and the defense. There's at least 10 Division I players here, in just this senior class alone.
Akko again on the carry and a gain of 1 yard.
Akko with the carry,
and now we're going to have
picks up a
another
couple,
tackling penalty on
flag.
West. Comes submarining in from the secondary. And this is the fourth penalty on this drive on the West defense.
Well, I apologize to our viewers. This crew must have turned into our broadcast against Skyridge, where I got a little critical over the number of flags, and so they want to put me in my place. I respect the officials.
Give the Warriors another first down.
There. You'll get no
that
complaints
one
out of me.
By All Valley Dental.
But that's that play. We've seen now 2 penalties on West.
Go to All Valley.
Given Taylorsville a lot of momentum now, and they're at the 32-yard line looking to go into score. That's a big, I don't want to say problem, but a highlighter mark for me when I'm thinking about going into halftime.
45 yards and penalties in this drive. So 1st and 10 after the penalty. Pressure coming again, and not going to get away. Down he goes, and on the sack for West.
Cole Kramer gets wrapped up. This was
Faimafili Snuka.
5 on the play.
Snuka is having a very good first half.
Well, Superfly is a great nickname for him, just like his predecessor, Jimmy. Is an actual family relation from what I've been told. And you can see why, because he just flies into the backfield there. Quarterback unable to avoid the grip, tried his best. They had something cooking there, and that's the beauty of this. Talk about why Mater Dei respected this West team so much. That's why right there, because when they make a mistake, they can immediately come back and fix it.
So 2nd down and 15 after the sack. Kramer going to throw, quick set, fire to the slant, got his man. Reception made, dive inside the 30-yard line, and it's Kirkman on the catch. And inside the 30 we go.
Yards, it'll be 3rd and 7.
And a more manageable 3rd down here. 3rd down and 7 for Taylorsville.
Yeah, and a really strong throw by the sophomore Kramer. That's the kind of thing that you want to see. It's really tough when you come in as a sophomore quarterback. I coached at Cypress High School. We had a sophomore quarterback. You see those early mistakes, but you want to see guys play through it. He had a few early on, and now you see him make that completion. 3rd and average, 3rd and brown bear, as JT and I like to call it. And they have an opportunity to convert here.
So 3rd and 7 for the Warriors. Going to throw. Kramer, quick set. Nobody getting open. Rolls to his left. Now fires deep toward the end zone. Kirkman is there. Defenders there as well. No flag. Remember, there is no face guarding penalty anymore in high school football.
In the
Able
end
to
zone.
knock that ball away on the defense for West was now able to get back there and knock it down.
Yeah, and like you pointed out,
whichever way we go with that one.
well, so we'll say no for now.
Yeah.
Right. But as you pointed out, Dusty, hands up in the air, clearly trying to indicate to the official, I'm not touching him. I'm just standing here trying to deflect the ball. Does a great job because it was a great job by Kramer to get out there, find his guy. I thought maybe he would overthrow him. He was about to drop in there. West dodges a bullet for now.
Yeah. A good job at Kramer staying poised as he had to roll out to his left. So here we go, 4th down and 7.
Yeah, very tough play for a right-handed quarterback, too. Good point.
Trips to the right, single receiver to the top of screen. Quick set, fire, intercepted! Messina with the pick, and now the return. Got one man to beat, but got a blocker coming as well. And it's Messina, 10-5, West High touchdown.
Intercepted by number 1 for West.
What a great read by the senior. You saw him earlier with the leadership, trying to tell his guys, calm down. We got this. Don't need to showboat. And even better, you made the play where you could showboat for 10 yards into the end zone. Great job by Messina. Secures the ball, and he was off with no one to catch him.
And I believe it was Mania Brown that showed some speed as well. Just get that last little convoy pick up there. And Ryder Messina with the pick 6.
If you're going to make a house call, you might as well do it with your homies.
Why would you have a house party by yourself?
Exactly.
Kick on the way.
Are you asking because I did that once, Dusty?
PAT is good.
Kick is good. No, heavens no. And we're at a party here. 9:36 left in the half. It is West 21.
Tonight's
Taylorsville
medical
0. You're
coverage
watching
is
West Side
provided by
Football
Intermountain
on
Sports
the
Medicine
Rewind
and
Sports
Tosh,
Network, brought to
the
you by
official
Falsia
medical
Construction.
provider for
Back in, Dusty Litster and Brian Brown. Again, I want to thank Intermountain Fire Protection being a sponsor of West High Football. Your home and your business are far too important not to be protected. Intermountain Fire Protection will make sure that your home or business is not only up to code, but is protected for good. As West went onside kick, hoping to get that, and we got an offside penalty on West. Got a little excited.
But it is a flag against West.
Yeah, interesting choice.
For
you're
offsides.
up 21-0. Maybe think probably don't need to go for the onside kick here, but West, this is your opportunity to give some of those situations a chance, right? Because you've got a 21-point lead.
Yeah.
You know that this isn't the end of your season in this game. You've got to build towards the rest of the playoffs and everything like that.
Well, remember what else they're doing. It's not necessarily about the game. It's the mercy clock rule at 35 points in the second half.
Right.
You're going to get there early.
Yeah, well, a Thursday night game, if you can get these guys home by 9:30, 10 o'clock,
Although
that gives you more time to prepare for next week, get these guys rested.
You
all
do
that
give
good
these
stuff.
guys an extra day of mayhem
Yeah.
as they go pooch kick and caught there at the 48-yard
Which
line.
kick picked up.
Wisely picked up
by
there.
number
But let me finish the
34.
Intermountain Fire Protection read here. They'll not only make sure that your home or your business is up to code, but protected from fire and its destruction. Call 801-419-8084. Again, 801-419-8084. And again, I want to thank Intermountain Fire Protection being a sponsor of West High Football on the Rewind Sports Network.
A nice job there, actually securing the ball before it goes out of bounds, because you're going to get better field position at the 48 here going into the end zone than you would have if it was out of bounds and ended up at 35, I would assume, right?
Yeah.
Is that the rule?
Yep.
Or does it go where the ball goes
No,
out
it
of
goes where it
bounds?
goes out, as long as it hasn't crossed in, yeah.
Well, I'm trying to give him credit anyway. So.
But it was just smart to go get it because it would have past 10 yards and have been West High football.
There you go. Plus, if you were like me, you never got to touch the ball anyway. So,
well, it reminds me, hey,
flag and a timeout
on the field.
We'll see which one comes first. The timeout
and no
comes
penalty
first,
for,
playing
I
the
don't know if
flag.
that was delayed game or what, but a timeout taken by Taylorsville.
During this timeout,
And we'll take it as well. We'll be
you
right
that
back. I think it's a
cheerleaders
30-second
are
timeout.
selling
We'll be back.
custom
You're watching
sodas
West Side Football
in the
on the Rewind Sports Network.
northwest.
So out of the timeout, 9:35 left in the half. 1st and 10 for the Warriors. They got one timeout left in the half. Going to keep the ball on the ground. And Akko once again runs into a brick wall.
Akko on the carry.
And again, Snuka in there on the stop.
No gain on the play. We have an injured Warrior.
do have an injured Taylorsville Warrior on the ground there, and it was just a tidal wave of white T-shirts to the football on that one. Again, running right into the teeth of this defense. If you're going to run into them, you have to try and get those guys moved somehow. So more double teams, right? You're trying to isolate one specific gap. You know, West is not super elaborate in terms of where they're, adjusting their run fit. There's not a lot of confusion up front with what you see in terms of stunting or things like that. It's pretty basic because they are so good. So if you're Taylorsville, you're trying to figure out, okay, who can we isolate and how can we try to create any kind of space to where maybe Akko can slip through a gap and create some positive yards.
And I know they're sticking with the run, hoping that it's like Novocaine, it works every time. I was going to say, I recognize that roll.
It's like Brandon Goose.
That was the wind got
He's up
knocked out
and
of your
walking
kind
off
of
on his
roll.
own power. Let's give him a hand.
Whenever you see a player on the ground, they kind of do that hip-to-hip movement. It's like, yeah,
Sorry,
he thinks
that's
he's never going to
Brandon
breathe
Gustman.
again. I know that because I've been through it.
I was going to say, I'm not going to make too much fun of him because there were more than a few occasions where I got to trying to breathe that air in. But glad to see him come off the field on his own power. It does
Absolutely.
look like he's okay. Again, the ferocity of that West defense, just the intensity with which they fly to the football is so impressive.
And so, 2nd down and 11 for the Warriors. Kramer going to throw, looking for the rail shot, can't get off the bump, and now you're going to have defensive holding.
Yeah, there's just no way to get around that one right there. Like the ball, yes, flies out of bounds and definitely not catchable, but when you tackle the receiver out of bounds, that's a pretty clear one. And really, like we talked about earlier, you want to test these corners.
West,
you have some great individual players out here for West, but they're not going to be 100% in this game. So try and get some of those tests, try and loosen things up, try and get those guys thinking about it with some of these penalties, and see if maybe you can catch one sleeping at some point and get back into this a little bit.
Well, and for anyone yelling at their hand device or their screen, whatever you're watching this on, they're saying they can bump them. Yes, they can. But once the ball's in the air, you cannot have your hands on the receiver, and that's why it was a holding, not a pass interference.
I mean, that was a better hug than the one I'm going to give you after the game.
Akko definitely, he saw a couple of missiles heading his way, and
bring up 2nd down.
If he didn't see him, he definitely heard him coming with high velocity. As you can see, it looked like one of the Brown brothers was coming downhill fast. And again, that's why we're all waiting for this West team to take that next step because there's so much talent out there. And, one of the first schools that I visited when I ran around on my pre-summer tour, didn't get to nearly all the schools I wanted to see. It was incredible to see how many people wanted to showcase their programs, but easy to see why West is so proud of what they're building here. This is a really talented deep football team.
2nd down and 10. Go back to the ground. Akko once again swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. And on
Akko
the stop
again on
for
the carry,
West
met at
was
the line of scrimmage.
Laufau. Khalil Alfal with the stop.
Second and
it is
11
third down and 12.
And he has all the measurables that you look for in a D1 defensive lineman. Probably more of a 5-tech guy. I would say maybe you want to put him into a 3-4 set or an odd front, where he can really set that edge. But here at the high school level, he has it all. Right? He has the speed, he has the strength, he has the technique. And you can see it on that play as he's the contained player that makes a tackle.
Be interested to see that if he was odd front, if he was a stand-up 3, if he's going to be a guy on the edge. But at 4, it's perfect for him at the high school level. You stand up here on third down and 12. Going to throw quickly to the outside, and once again, the defender's there to knock that ball away. And on the defense was lobbed up by Lahi. And it is fourth down and 12 for Taylorsville. And I think they might try to punt and pin West deep with 8:11 left in the half.
Hope that maybe West is starting to snooze a little bit this one, where you can get the field flipped. You actually did make some decent progress here. You've seen some things going on, but Vailahi, sophomore, this is a guy that this staff is extremely high on. You can see why. Had the early reception, now playing both ways on defense with the deflection. He's a do-it-all guy, and I think he's going to be one of those names that, come 2024, 25, we see all across the country.
Man, how good is that 2024 class looking right now? Mercy.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, the 2023 class is pretty good here,
Oh, good
too.
pressure on the kick, and they're not going to have running into the kicker, able to lay off of him. If this was Saturday or Sunday, that kicker, the punter's laying on the ground, earning a 5 to 10-yard penalty.
Another good punt.
But it is a good punt around the 10-yard line. It'll be West football at the 12.
Let's get our defense a little spark here, huh? Let's give them a little spark.
Gusman coming off the field a little gimpy on that one. Looked like maybe kind of pulled, trying to get out of the way. Able to pin the offense back a little bit. But again, it's been close all game long. You can tell that West is kind of getting inching closer and closer. They can smell it. They want to go get one of those blocks. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, Gusman coming off the field. If he's not able to go back out there, now that really changes things for Taylorsville.
So out comes Sui and the Panther offense. And Sui going to throw. Pressure coming. Can he get away? Gets away from 1, 2. The third, no. Fourth and fifth guys get in there for the sack.
Loss of about 2
and it's
on
a loss
the play.
of 2
Great
yards.
Job defense.
And the most exciting 2-yard loss you're ever going to see.
Well,
and if
nearly a 2-point.
Yeah, if you're Coach Delovey over there, you're just wiping your brow saying, "Woo!" Because he almost ended up in that yellow area there, and that's a real danger zone.
Yeah.
But slippery, kind of shades of Chucky Keaton
there
at
you
Utah
go.
State, where you just can't get the guy down, and to have his kind of speed, man.
That was like Randall Cunningham in Tecmo Super Bowl.
Yeah. Old enough to remember that reference. Yeah. Boy, Randall would have been something nowadays, huh?
Oh, my heavens, right? Timeout on the field, and we've taken a lot of breaks. We'll give one read here,
West.
and then we'll see where we are at the end of it. But I want to again thank Vitoria Real Estate and Financial Services, excited to be a sponsor of West High Football, owned and operated by Vitoria Tanuvasa. We are a team of industry professionals committed to genuinely serving our neighbors on the West Side with all real estate and life insurance needs. As a proud alumnus of West High, class of 2004, Vitoria looks forward to supporting the Panther community. And again, want to thank Mountain Ops, a local nutrition company helping improve the lives of individuals and families through high-quality supplements and Conquer Hunger meal donations. And again, Omi Photo by Naomi Messina is located at 7819 South Highland Drive in Cottonwood Heights. Whether you're looking for a photo shoot with your family, team, family occasion, come support Naomi at Omi Photo, 801-949-6365. And set up that shoot today. Second down and 11. Over the middle, got a man, Wilson, and he's unable to pull it in.
Pressure causes
and I'll bring up third down 11.
Well, he must have seen those gold Wilson letters on the ball, and it distracted him from reeling that one in.
Good job by
He
that
was
defense,
wide
bringing
open
up a
there over the
big
middle.
third down.
That was a good ball by
Huge
Suisu.
third
There was a
down for
lot of
that
pressure
defense.
coming. And again, as you can hear the announcer saying, it is a huge third down now for Taylorsville.
And it was a weird one, too, because I wonder if Wilson let that ball come up, because it was a different trajectory on that ball, at least from where we were.
Wonder if maybe it got tipped a little bit at the line of scrimmage.
It came out a little flat out of the hand, but it got there. Should have been caught. Third down 11. Sui. Again over the middle. Got a man. Catch is made. Fafita across the 35-yard line. He is down and it'll be West.
Pass complete to number
First
82.
down. Well, they're saying
Ball does
incomplete.
come out, but it's ruled a.
I thought Fafita
incomplete
pulled that
pass.
in and then just lost. Well, they're saying
That'll be fourth
never
down.
had
Great
it.
job, D.
It'll be
Great
fourth
job,
down.
fans. See, it matters.
Fourth down, and we'll see what Coach Solovi decides to do. I don't know that he is. Offense staying out. There's maybe a quick kick here from Sui. I mean, go forward on 4th and 11 at your own 11-yard line.
Well, you've had 2 wide open completions there that should have been caught. So maybe they're just thinking that you've got an opportunity. You're going to trust your defense here.
2-by-2 formation for Sui. Going to throw. Isaiah stepping up, looking to take off. He had Holbrook near side. It's a long ways to go. Does not have the first down out of the 21-yard line. And has a turnover on
a big fourth down,
as he
and
ends
I
up a yard
believe
shy of the first down marker.
And
the second time that the Taylorsville defense has come up with the stop and
that's
turnover
a
on
big
downs.
play for
Well,
that defense.
they really kind of opened it up for him, sent the pressure from the outside, said, hey, we're willing to let you run upfield, but they had plenty of guys in coverage. They're able to keep him contained, not able to get the first down. And now, again, this is one of those moments where show us where your heart is, Taylorsville.
Yeah.
You know, you're coming in to score right here with 6:50 left. There's plenty of time to get back into this game.
So can the offense follow up the stop from the defense? But this West defense has been tenacious here in the first half. Going to go again on the ground on first down, and that is stiffed out quickly by Ryder Messina.
Linebacker in the backfield, loss of about 3.
Messina, you can see the leadership there, right? Has the interception earlier, getting his guys lined up, reading his keys, making the play in the backfield there. That's one of those places where I want to take a shot right there. I want to trick play, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of first thought. It's like, hey, right after a turnover, hey,
test this defense a little bit, right? You know, and we've seen them do it at times and get positive yards, whether it's through completions or through penalties. It all adds up in the end.
So 2nd down and 13. Go back to the ground again. Akko, and he finds a seam, sticking with the run. Longest
Akko
play
with a nice play
of the
up the
night.
middle.
And it'll be a Taylorsville first down. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. Finally popped the seam there on 2nd down.
And that's why you stick with the run game right there. But same formation that they ran previously, but a little bit of different action in the backfield, trying to get those backers hesitating a little bit, able to sustain the blocks, get some movement there. And the defense has been out there quite a bit already in this game, and that's a big game for Taylorsville.
Well, remember, they had been thinking pass, and you caught them on that's a great decision.
Yeah.
So 1st and 10 from the 11. Go back again to the ground. And Akko on first down. They say, no, this isn't 2nd down. And it'll be 2nd and 11.
Yeah, it's really hard when you're trying to go sideways against this defense, right? Because they're so good with their leverage. Hands inside, holding those offensive linemen up, getting them going backwards. You just can't work your angles if you're an offensive line when a guy's inside on your chest. And you're seeing that's why they're getting those 2-3 yard losses on those first down runs. It's almost like Coach Brown over there, has done this for a while, knows a little bit about defensive line play.
Yeah, like he played it pretty well at one point in time.
Like he was one of the greatest to ever do it in the state or something like that.
Manayo was an absolute animal.
It was my favorite to watch.
Look left, throw left. Down to the hands of the intended receiver. Thought he had it.
Just out of the reach of number 34.
But a flag on the play.
Pass ball's incomplete.
We'll see what this is.
Oh, we do have a flag on the play, though.
I mean, number 34 on the Taylorsville roster. Love to give him some credit here. But I don't have one, and PA didn't have it either. Don't know if they changed Kirkham's number, maybe to open him up.
Somebody forgot a jersey. That never happens at the high school level.
And usually you just get punished, say, hey, you're not going to play. But I wonder, did Kirkham switch from 9 to 34? So, still sorting out the penalty flag. Illegal man downfield.
Yeah, so you saw the counter trade, the RPO that they were trying to go off of.
It's like we had an ineligible receiver downfield. That's against the Warriors.
Part of the reason why I think they were able to get the one-on-one coverage there out there for who we think is Kirkman. It doesn't look like size-wise that that's probably the most likely character out there, and it's a really tough thing for these high school kids when you're running those RPOs, especially with all that movement up front.
If you follow Dewey Gray on Twitter, that guy gets mad because the NFL, they don't stop him. You got guys that are 7-8 yards downfield on
listen,
RPOs.
Illegal man downfield is a discretionary penalty. We should just get rid of it altogether.
Or just enforce it. Oh, there's a pick! Taimani Brown with the interception. And he is gone. The second pick six of the half for the West Panthers. Messina had the first. Taimani Brown with the second.
Well, it's definitely not my side of the Brown family because we never had speed like that. Taimani able to cut in front of the pass there. Came out of nowhere, seemingly. We talked about Kramer, the sophomore quarterback. He'll remember that one in the memory banks moving forward. But just a great play to break on the ball. And, again, nothing but open field as he takes his brothers down there to the end zone for a house call.
Hey, outside linebacker working that hook to flat. And he recognized 3-by-1. He's Siegel side. Yeah, they're throwing a slant. He read that thing.
You're talking a language I don't understand, Dusty. If it's not base block, stock block, double team.
All they're going cover 3, hook to flat.
Poetry in motion.
Well, let's see the old Daffy Duck shift here. Sui going to throw. No, pump it. And they're going to say not enough men on the line of scrimmage here. It'll be illegal formation.
For 2.
Remember, there's only a couple of post-snap penalties left in high school football.
No good on the extra point.
Been a while since I've seen the old Daffy Duck. You know, that was one of the 90s staples of the Ron McBride era. But, again, looked like they just weren't able to ever get it set up properly. Just kind of a calamity of errors there. One of those things that, look, you're up 27-0 right now. Like you talked about, you're trying to get that clock going as quickly as possible. So you're going to try and take those chances, and this is a time where you can experiment a little bit.
And see, I'm from a place that used to be Camp Carbon, so we used to shift from Daffy Duck to field goal formation on every field goal.
Well, and you talk about being from Carbon and doing it. We did that at Highland High School when I played.
West,
the old water
good
bucket,
extra point anyway. Either way, the extra point is no good.
One of those things that
great job, defense.
If it's properly executed, there is a purpose to it. But there's so many things. It's an old Ron McBrideism. 2 out of 3 things that can happen on any kick are going to go wrong. Just stick with the easiest one.
It's the old Woody Hayes. You don't throw the ball. 2 out of the 3 possibilities. And Ronnie did a good one on that one too. But, man, this West defense continues to play really well. If you're just joining us.
Have they outscored the offense at this point?
Yes. No, they're tied 2-2.
Okay. So that's the game within the game then.
Yeah. So. Remember, West scored on their very first play from scrimmage, 49-yard touchdown pass to Vailahi. And they scored again on a run from Sui. But then it's been Messina with a pick 6 and now Taimani Brown with a pick 6. Accounting for the scores for the West Panthers.
Does look like West might be trying the onside kick again here.
Remember, they need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion and to have the game open the third quarter with the mercy clock as they kick that ball out of bounds, bring it out to the 35-yard line.
Bounds.
And for people who might be tuning in and haven't caught a game all year, the mercy rule, the mercy clock, it's in place because there is a lot of discrepancy between some of these teams and these programs.
Mm-hmm.
The way that population growth happens in some schools with open enrollment, some schools without it, there are just teams that have, we all talk about Region 4 being the SEC of
this is the SEC West.
Of high school football. And there's a good reason for it because every single one of those teams rolls out, in essence, a college football offensive and defensive line. When you're Taylorsville here, you're just trying to stay in the game and compete.
Yeah.
So it's a tough situation, I think. In a lot of respects, I don't think there's an easy solution for it either.
Well, let's talk solutions. I talked solutions with Rob Clough back in the spring about some of this stuff as they go on the ground to Akko. And again, nothing doing. Snuka gets in there once again. And I've been one that's going to be another flag. I'm a major proponent of alignment per sport. You'd help a lot with Taylorsville football, a lot of Region 2, if they played 5A or 4A football.
Yeah.
It would help a ton in that growth and saying to tempt you east, name the others.
West,
I get your numbers, you're coming up and you're staying up. Almost like relegation promotion, right? And I hate that soccer's become such a thing, but there's a lot of wisdom to the relegation promotion.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'd be nice if they applied that wisdom to the actual game on the field for soccer. I'm just kidding.
No, you're not, and I'm totally with you.
But you're right, and we encountered it when I was coaching at Cypress in 2015, 2016. That's a 6A school.
Yeah.
We had no business playing with a lot of those 6A teams. Now, A lot of hard work, developed a program there. Now they're starting to see some more success, but it's just so hard to build that growth. Kids want to go where they're going to play and where they're going to win.
Well, and is that ball again stopped in the backfield? But if you're going to help schools grow, and I think it's what we need to do, and it's about the kids, give the kids the best opportunity, not only for the chance for these programs to grow, and you don't do it by keeping the sun on it. Sometimes you got to get some water there and let those seeds grow, and that's why I'm a major proponent of, hey, let's find a way to get these guys in a footing to where they can come back. Look at Hunter High School. That was one of the proudest programs, and it's down on times, but, and it does have some population coming in. You got to help it grow to success so those kids come to the football field and they can stay there.
Well, it shouldn't always be about the kids that are coming in, right? It should be about the kids that are in the program.
Absolutely.
And allowing them to feel like they can compete, And this is a good Taylorsville football team. They executed at a pretty decent level. They're starting a sophomore quarterback tonight, and his mistakes have proven costly simply because he's going up against 11 D1 players on the other side of the football. But, against some of the other teams in the Valley, against the Murray, against Kearns, this is a very competitive team, and so
the Hunter,
yeah, exactly. Those are programs where they want to have an opportunity to win games too. It shouldn't always just be about the Corner Canyons, the American Forks, and the Timpviews, and the East.
Well, it's an interesting thing what they do, right? They set a number from enrollment. We're going to go from there, but here we go. 2nd down and 13 is. I'm sure that's what you all tuned in for, is to hear that conversation. As pressure comes, and Stuka once again in the backfield with the sack. It'll be 3rd down and forever after the sack from Stuka.
Yeah, and you can see the West High faithful cheering the takedown as he almost threw a little bit of a wrestling move there at the end. But just a great job by Stuka off the edge. Again, an incredible athlete. And it's just, that's the hard part about, this Taylorsville football team. Yep. They've hung in there, and just few mistakes here and there. And I don't even call them mistakes, just unawareness, right? Learning experiences, however you want to phrase it. And now all of a sudden they're down 27-0, and it's real hard to get out there and keep competing at the same level.
Now let's give a free one to Snuka. His new sack celebration's got to be the Jimmy Fly, I love you. The top. Good sack, got to throw him.
We're gonna work with him on that one. He kind of just got up and walked away, like
I actually love it.
Conor McGregor
I do
strut.
love it, right? Hey, act like you've been there, you meant to get it, but a little bit after you leave, just give it a little bit of the,
I like that.
Throw that one up.
It might be a little bit out of his era. We might remember that.
But he's got to know. I bet he knows about Jimmy's.
That's got to be a staple of the family reunions.
Not mom and dad got to talk to him about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Going to keep it on the ground on 3rd and forever. And now here comes the helmet-to-helmet hit. 2nd time. But remember, not an automatic first down. It's a 15-yard penalty. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Penalty flag on the play.
After this penalty is assessed, as first time tonight, different running back. That is Marshall Evans on the carry.
Sophomore, and you're seeing, again, we talk about youth within a program. Marshall Evans a sophomore, Kramer a sophomore. You've got some good young talent in here, some decent size. Getting them some reps, getting them a chance to play out here. It's a big hit, but
personal foul
Evans popped back up. He's good to go.
Against West.
And listen, I think for a long time there was so much concern about CTE and helmet-to-helmet contact. There's been so much progress made in terms of ways to prevent it, ways we manage concussions and all that kind of stuff. The game is so much safer now.
It is, and not only that, it's one of those things of, hey, let's teach it. Get it out, and you've got to penalize it. And what I love is the way it's assessed here in high school because there's no reviews, thank goodness.
Yes.
But I think the chains are off. It was 3rd down and 21. That's a 15-yard penalty. It should be 3rd and 6. But I got a 3rd and 1. Oh, they give it after the yardage as well. So there we go. Back to the ground, and Snuka once again sniffs it out.
3rd and short is
and he's a little banged up at the end of that play.
There does appear to be an injured West player.
It'll be 4th down and 4.
Okay.
We got a West player down, Snuka on the ground.
Injury
we'll be right back.
timeout.
2:58 left in the half. You're watching West Side Football presented by Falcia Construction.
At UCCU,
Snuka is off the field on his own power, thank goodness. For the first half that he's had, it might be the last time we see. Well, don't trust high school kids with the last time you see him. We got guys out there playing with clubs, and it's about the 4th club I've seen this year. Whenever you have someone out there like Phil Villapiano back in the 70s with the Raiders, that's what now is walking around the club.
Well, if they didn't turn in for the handsomeness, they're definitely tuning in for the references.
Oh, how about this one? They go snap to the up back, and a little bit of room inside the 30, the 25, breaks a couple more tackles, and then
Manu with the
has
fake
a first
punt.
Down at the 22-yard line.
Takes it all the way down to the 21-yard line. And
love the execution. But out of that, I love the positive play for this Taylorsville team that's just keeping it coming.
Well, and Faliola is primarily a defensive player. You know, I was looking at the formation. I was like,
for all your
does look
roofing
like
needs.
the Angel protectors are up a little higher there. Didn't even think about it. So Taylorsville caught both West and us sleeping on that one. Great call by that staff. Able to convert, get themselves into positive territory here. 22-yard line, not quite the red zone, or the yellow zone, or gold zone, whatever Taylorsville calls it. I learned that it's apparently the blue zone down in Provo.
Not Sans Bronco, but they kind of kept that. That was a Bronco thing. And that's not a knock. I love Bronco Mendenhall, but yeah, that was a Bronco Mendenhallism. There's 1st and 10. And again on the ground, and Akko ducks one, can't duck two.
Akko with the gain of a couple.
He is the gain of
Bring up
1
second down for the Warriors.
yard. It'll be 2nd down to 9.
Well, it's positive yards, right?
Quick
And
announcement:
big set of progress. We talked about it. They're sending so many guys off the edge from West, trying to get backside pursuit.
Get down there as soon as it's halftime.
So you're seeing Taylorsville run a little bit more split zone, trying to meet those backside defenders with a crossing blocker, either an H-back, tight end, whoever it is. And that you're seeing some success now out of that.
2nd down and 9. Gonna roll to the right. Picks up an extra block on that as well. Fires it out of bounds. It was a 2-man route. Well, pardon me, 3-man route. Ball out of bounds.
Cole Kramer
now,
on the
as a high school coach, is it easier to teach the zone scheme to the high schoolers? Is that why we're seeing more and more of it? The zone blocking scheme maybe a little easier to take on, or no?
It is. And what happens is it's all dictated by the defense, right?
Yeah.
When you see these defenses that start to get really active, and I know a lot of Utah fans out there are upset with the way Utah started off that game, and there's a lot of slow starts conversations.
Hey, when you count the men.
I'm telling you, they set 7 different fronts on the first series.
That's why the 3-3-5 is so good.
Yeah, including the defensive tackle lighting up as a nickel corner at one point in the play. So before we get too outrageous about it, that's what defenses have to do to compete against some of these offenses. Zone make it so much easier because you just block an area. Whoever comes into your area, that's who you get.
Akko again on 3rd and forever. 3rd and 9 is the 3rd and forever, but against this defense on the ground, 3rd and 9
no gain
is
on
forever.
the
Now
play.
it's 4th down and 9.
Yeah,
I think they were hoping to catch them again in a passing situation like they did on the run they busted for 9.
Yeah, well, you're between a rock and a West High defense there because you want to put the ball in Kramer's hands. You want to see him make some plays. At the same time, when he's feeling that pressure, and you can only roll out so much. And it's just the disruption of guys like Khalil Laufau. We talked about him. This kid is just built to play defensive tackle.
Yeah.
He runs so well. In fact, I've done some scouting. Again, I don't want to talk too much about college football. I've done some scouting. He might be able to start for Arizona State on Saturday. Just the way that he gets off the ball, the way he pursues, everything like that. Very impressive.
Well, it's going to be a timeout taken by Taylorsville. They're in a lineup for a field goal to get some points for the end of the half. We'll take it with them. We'll be right back. You're watching West High Football presented by Falcia Construction.
Thank Toff.
So out comes Taylorsville for a field goal attempt. It's Porter Robinson. It'll be a 40-yard attempt for Porter to try to put points on the board for the Warriors. Good snap. Blocked. Was that Ryder Messina? No, it was 14. That's Taimani Brown with the block. With 9 seconds to go in the half, Taimani Brown has a pick six, and now a block coming inside the end man.
Big plays are a family business for the Brown crew tonight. That's a big, big stop for this Westside defense, Westside special teams. If you're Taylorsville, a little bit of heartbreak city. Again, we always talk about it. Hug your punters, hug your kickers, go hug your center, go hug your entire field goal unit on that one, because that was tough to get out of there without any points.
Got to block the inside man out. We saw that ruin the LSU season opener. Remember, kiddos.
Special teams are special for a reason, Dusty.
Yeah.
That's a third of the game right there. That's a great opportunity to get out and play. Invest in special teams.
MDM, most dangerous man. So 9 seconds left, maybe 2 plays, maybe. Sui going to let it go. Got a defender back there for the interception. And that's how the first half will end. And now a penalty at the end of the play.
Pass
but on the
intercepted
interception by number
Jordan Carl.
18, Jordan Carl, the backup quarterback. And we'll have to assess the flag here.
Play of the half.
If that's against Taylorsville, I think we should be done on the change of possession. I don't know we'll have an untimed down here to close out the half. But Sui was letting that one go, and it was Curl with the pick.
Yeah, great job by Curl out there playing center field. You know, we saw Sui having all day to throw. You always get a little bit nervous with your younger quarterbacks when they have that much time. Just kind of reel it up, let it out there. Again, not a huge deal at the end of the game. Just trying to get a point on the
Figure
board.
out what the penalty flag is for.
But a nice job to get up there, elevate, grab the ball, secure it. Almost slipped away from tackles. Could have been something really special if he was able to break that very last one. But, again, you know, a good positive momentum play. Assuming we find out what happens here from the officials.
Yeah, we're just waiting so you all know what's going on. We'll set it to break into halftime. But it'll be 27-0 West with the lead going into the break. They are sending the teams out, so it'll be a personal foul against West at the end of that play.
But that is the end of the first half.
And we'll see if that's assessed at the start of the third quarter. He didn't give it to the next, but 2 defensive touchdowns pacing the way in the second quarter. As we go to the break, it is West 27, Taylorsville 0. You're watching West High Football on the Rewind Sports Network, presented by Faucia Construction. Start of the second half, Dusty Lister and Brian Brown with you here of West High Football on the KSL Sports Rewind Sports Network. And Brian, Taylor's going to kick off. West setting up for the onside kick. It's almost like the squeeze bunt. If everyone's expecting it, can you surprise them?
I mean, it's execution at that point, right?
Yeah.
And then I just got to be honest with you, Dusty. I'm no Moose Bingham, so I can't evaluate a kicker just based on feel or the force, whatever it is that kickers have.
Whatever it is.
But there's not a lot of high school kickers that can execute, an onside kick with perfection. And so you just either hope for a lucky bounce or a pooch or some kind of miscue at that point.
Well, they went pooch and they got a break. West with the big return inside the 40-yard line of the 36. And to steal a line, Pat Gilmore, talk about your all-time backfires, is on the return for the West Panthers was Vainuku.
36-yard line.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what the plan of attack there was. It looked like maybe the kicker missed the ball a little bit.
We're going to help
Hard for me to say. I'm not a kicker by any stretch, but you're kicking kind of into an empty space where you don't have any coverage. Vainuku able to get a good return, and you're already in a positive territory here if you're West High School. You have to think attack if you're this offense.
Afodi Koula Vainuku on the return. Had to take a swing. So on 1st and 10, going to keep it on the ground. And it's Rona on the carry. And Rona, we saw some power from him earlier in double fours. It's down to the 31-yard line.
44 on the
It'll
carry,
be second down and 5.
Yeah, not quite the same neck roll as Tom Rathman used to have for the 49ers, but that same kind of aggressive style of running, The modern fullback is not dead. It's just transitioning, Dusty.
Hey, Jim Brown was a fullback. That's one of my favorite Peyton's places. What happened to the fullback? And he had to point out that Jim Brown was a fullback. He wasn't a tailback. He was a fullback.
The fullback's an H-back. People forget how often Moose Johnston used to line up in the slot for the Cowboys.
So 1st down and 5. Going to keep it on the ground. It's Vailahi inside the 20. Vailahi pushing toward the 15. Mark him down at the 17. It'll be a fresh set of downs for the West High Panthers.
That's that kind of physical running that you just absolutely love. He's bouncing off defenders. Legs just churning in there. We talk about churning butter, JT and I do all the time. And he's got a lot of that carry goal that he's in behind him there as he's able to get a big gain for this West High offense. We talk about attacking. I kind of knew they were going to attack in the run game. But 20-yard chunks, that's good business.
So 1st and 10, going to keep it on the ground again, and it's Rona finds a seam inside the 5, and it'll be 1st and goal.
44 on the carry. Tackled by.
Well, I know we didn't bring the normal production truck, Dusty, but if we had, you could have driven it right through there. There's 2 yellow buses that could have gone through there, too. I might have been able to fit through it as well. Just opening and mauling in the run game earlier on the offensive line.
So on 1st and goal, back to Rona. It's a road grader special into the end zone, untouched. Touchdown, West High Panthers, and Ty Arona.
We barely have time to breathe, and they're already rolling the ball down the field. That's the kind of run attack that is so dangerous. No huddle, variety, versatility going
West,
inside, outside.
For 2 again.
See the little power lead action there.
Get
They're
our
going to go for 2
pumped
here,
up a little bit.
But it's just wide open lanes. And like you said, Arona just able to bulldoze his way into the end zone.
I really need Ty Arona to make a top 5 play because I have the perfect write-up for it. You just have to be familiar with mid-90s bad music.
Bad? Great music.
That's bad music. Not all mid-90s music because that ball goes through the end zone.
Broken up by the defense.
The 2-point conversion is no good. 10:27 left in the 3rd quarter. And West goes right down the field and scores. It is West 33, Taylorsville 0. You're watching West High Football on the Rewind Sports Network.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Dusty Litster and the Brown Bear, Brian Brown, Man, I've been so excited to say that.
Because I remember when I was a kid, the Brown Bear played for the Jazz, and Mike Brown.
Yes, my
The Brown
father.
Bear.
Not officially.
Oh, I was like, wait, I didn't know this. And there's a short kick going to be taken on the hop at the 1 yard line. And a lot of West Panthers in the back there inside the 10 and unable to get away from him. And who
David
else?
Conan tries to get that edge.
Well, I thought that was Snuka,
Doesn't
but
quite make it, but a pretty good
Conan with the
return.
return, and it was
Oh,
Winston Ola with the stop. So we got a
an injured player
Taylorsville
down on the
Warrior
field.
down, and there might have been a hit away from the ball here. And as they're out attending to him, we'll step aside real quick so we're not just guessing what's going on there. Hope he's okay. We'll be right back.
By West coming over and giving their support.
And
Appreciate
want to
that.
wish the best to Dante Walton. He's a young man being taken off right now. And look, it's always scary when the stretcher comes out, but I learned this when Jackson Light was a sophomore. And all he had to say is, I felt a pop. And we're going to take absolute immediate precautions that you're not moving. And so I hope that's what this is with Dante. We absolutely wish him the best. Those moments always freak you out. The hardest snap of the night is this snap right here. Brian, you know much better than me. You played much longer than I did. This is the hardest one. When you have an injury like that and you watch your teammate get carted off, everyone starts taking kind of account of where am I right now. And that first hit, there's just that immediate, like, am I going to be okay too? So hopefully we get everyone back into the right mindset, and we'll get through this first snap, and then everybody kind of goes back to playing football.
Yeah, and you see Taylorsville's head coach gathered here with his team trying to settle them down a little bit and let them know where everything is at, trying to get their heads back into it. And it is one of those things, and we talk about it in just casual spaces of how weird it is that somebody gets hurt and you just move the practice away. But that's part of this game, right?
Yeah.
Like you're learning how to play through things and how to overcome things. And adversity is such an important part of everything that happens here. And so, your heart is with your teammate, you're thinking about them, but you also know that there is, it's still a game to be played. And so that's where you've got to try and shift that mindset, like you said. And it's been sitting for a little while. You want to get up, get moving around, and try and avoid any further injuries like that. But like you said, first year coaching at Cypress, have the same thing happen. Player hurt a pop. So we're all sitting on the sideline with no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
We're scared to death. Like, oh my gosh, what's happening to this kid? And I think he was the first one in the film session the next day.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you just really never know, and we don't want to infer anything one way or another. But the most important thing is that they are taking those precautions, and you're going to get these kids try to get back going and get your head into the game if you're Taylorsville. You see Wes on the far sideline going back through the warm-ups a little bit, doing some dynamic stretching, trying to get loosened up and get warm again. Because it was a long delay there.
A long delay, and you got to see a little bit of it. We'll step aside for a moment. Wanted to make sure you got to see what was going on. Again, Dante Walton, wish him the absolute best. Thoughts and prayers with him. We'll step aside. We'll come back. There's 10:20 left in the third quarter. You're watching West High football presented by Faucia Construction.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs. Just complete an application on your phone or computer, or stop by any branch.
Top, he'll be fine. Keep him
So
in your
again, after
prayers.
the injury to Mr. Walton, hoping everything's good. They're going to take him out with those precautionary movement. So on 1st and 10, here's the give, and the second half offense starts kind of where the first half one went, and it's a give up the middle to Akko, and the defensive front there of West to stymie it.
Starting deep in your own territory, again, we've kind of seen the MO that they want to come out and they want to try and establish the run on first down. At some point, they're going to break something there, you hope. But it's just a tall task, especially when you look at this front from West, and like the only guy who's bigger in the stadium right now might be me, and it's not a good thing, Dusty. They're athletic big.
Yeah. And even going with the sub front.
Yeah.
Going to show pressure and a false start.
Yeah. Again, tough situation because you've been going up against this explosive front, and it's one thing when a guy is 270 like Khalil, right? Or 285 or whatever he's tipping the scales at today. Those weights fluctuate during the season, but when they get off the ball the way they do and get into you, and you're sitting there and you're nervous. Second time you see any kind of motion, you're trying to get off the ball and go.
Not all big is the same big. Second down and 17 after the penalty. Again, going to keep it on the ground, and Akko try to bounce outside, and again that front there to bring him down. Another loss back to the 2-yard line, and it was Messina first on the scene, and Ryder Messina has had himself a night.
Well, you see just how well coached this Westside defense is to flow to the football, come downhill
debit card
fast,
returned to us at the press box.
Converge on the ball carrier.
Mariana,
defensive line, if they're not making the tackle, they're doing a great job of just holding things up and keeping guys from getting any kind of depth. And when you can't get depth on the linebackers in terms of your combo blocks, your double teams, everything like that, this is what you get. Now you're in 3rd and 20, and it's just been running plays.
So go 2 by 1. You got an H-back. You got to put the ball in the air, you imagine, here. Kramer rolling near side. Pressure comes, and down he goes. It's a safety for West. And on the sack,
tries to make something
I believe that
happen.
was Taimani Brown.
Out there.
That'd be 8 points tonight for Taimani Brown, plus a blocked field goal.
Well, he's done just about everything tonight. I think the only thing left is for him to line him up at quarterback, maybe throw a touchdown pass. I don't know if we'll get that opportunity, but this defense has been phenomenal tonight. And you see, get the exclamation point there, turnovers, interceptions, getting the safety there, just a really strong performance by this Panther defense.
Nearly the bingo card full for Taimani Brown. 8:30, and now the rolling clock comes. Normally we take the break, we'll hold it because I think everyone's going to try to speed up a little bit here with the Mercy clock running at 35 points advantage here for West. And the only way this stops is if Taylorsville is able to get it to a 14-point game, 21-point game. Vince Francis always corrects it for me because I always think I say 14 and it's 21, but I always say 21. You know what I mean. I always get it wrong. Vince always has it. Vince has been around me long enough. He knows. I think that's the first pat the back I've given him in our whole 15 years we've been working together.
He's over there wiping away some tears. That's a really tender gesture from both of you.
It was like Michael Scott after Holly touches him. So, the penalty against Taylorsville. I'm not sure what the penalty was.
But the safety,
safety,
Warriors will kick off
Free
from
kick.
the 20-yard line.
It does look like they've got the punter out there to get the punt off. Again, the uniqueness of the left-footed punter.
Yeah.
We'll see if that plays a factor in anything with Brandon Gustman.
Well, he's punted well tonight. He's taking a beating a little bit at the punting as well as end over end kick taken on a knee. Yeah.
The receiver touches a knee on the catch.
You can try to sell it there by Mr. Wilson.
Down by the ground.
But down on contact.
The 39-yard line.
West High football at their own 39.
Well, he's about sneaky as I am when I'm trying to get an extra play to dessert there. But, West is still going to be in good field position here. And then, I think if you're West High, you come out, it's going to be the same recipe, right? You want to run the ball. You want to do that quick hitting attack, get some of the big chunk yards, and really just get some activity there for your offensive line to where they can really refine their zone blocking.
So on first down, going to keep it on the ground, and really the advantage here for West in a plethora of areas which have an advantage is on the ground. And again, on the carry was for West, it was another first down, and on the carry was Vainuku. So first and 10 from midfield.
It's been a variety of efforts, for West High tonight. A couple scores from the defense, a couple different wide receivers, and just a really balanced attack for them. As you see Vainuku take the handoff and get another big gain here for West High, and just looked like we might have had another pancake there on the edge.
The Pancake Brigade's growing.
The Pancake Platoon. Another enlisted in the Pancake Platoon there. Trying to decipher a number out here.
We'll get the number, and we'll welcome to the core.
That's right. And you just love to see that aggressiveness from your offensive linemen, especially this West unit where there are legitimately 5 guys up front who are that good.
Fires to Wilson, and that ball is skipped in, complete. And it'll be second down and 10.
And we'll get a shout out to Nuka Mafia on that one. The junior left tackle is an impressive prospect. Have a lot of positivity around him in terms of a recruit in the future. And you can see why, just the way that they're mowing the wrong game. Interesting that they decided to let Sui throw there. Maybe just trying to break up the monotony a little bit. Hard to say.
Well, remember, the clock's not going to stop. So there isn't an element of, we're prolonging the game at this level, or at this point, I should say. So on second and 10, high snap, Sui's going to have to take off and run. There's a flag that comes in, so you're going to have a holding penalty most likely against West.
Tackled by number 73.
It'll be an interesting decision here for Taylorsville. Do you take the yardage, or do you take the result of the play and have it be third down and 9?
I think in any other situation, you would probably take the down and distance, right? 3rd and 9, but we've seen West be so good in those long distance areas that you probably want to try and back them up as much as you possibly can. And again, part of the reason that play broke down was because of a high snap from the center.
10 yards.
A lot of downtime here in the second half, and as much as we all love to compare these guys to the NFL Warriors that play on Sundays, these are still high school kids that are very susceptible to lapses and mentals. My dad used to tell me it was the fumes that were problems, right? The car fumes and the perfumes. As it gets later, those fumes get stronger. And for me, it's the bakery fumes.
I was going to say, you get that stoppage of the hot dogs and hamburger smells. Those fumes is Sui fires the rail route, got Holbrook. He threw it behind him a little bit. And it's incomplete, and Holbrook only his second target this evening. And it'll be third down and 22.
We haven't seen a lot of Charlie Holbrook tonight, and you can see why. He is such an explosive player that you have to know where he's at, and Taylor's done a really good job of making sure that they've done that. One chance he gets open, just not quite able to connect with the quarterback there.
Third down for the defense. Get a stop
probably
here.
Probably would have been pulling him out of the end zone as well.
Well, you kind of see that Cam Newton type throw there from Sui. Came out flat kind of once again.
He's got kind of an interesting release where he gets some drop on that ball and leads to a little bit of a lower throw sometimes.
Set up the screen to Vainuku. Road Graders out in front. And makes it fourth down and 10 after he gets forward progress around the 39-yard line. I thought he maybe got to the 38. Mr. Official agrees.
Matthew Griffiths.
So it'll be 4th and 10 as Griffiths there on the stop.
Bring up 4th down.
Again, everybody else is watching the ball, but I'm watching Nuka Mafia out there like a giant dancing bear just mauling guys.
That poor corner.
As a pulling guard, I can empathize with what the corner's going through, but also that's our shining moment if you're an offensive lineman.
My jaw's still off from my senior year taking on pulling guards. 4th down, 11. Sui got time, fires, and incomplete. Second time tonight that this
for 21.
Warrior defense able to, probably third time tonight that they've come up with a turnover on downs.
First down for the Warriors.
And the second time it's been off a defensive pass as that falls incomplete, and it'll be Taylorsville ball. And making the stop there was David Conan.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of Conan on the punt return team. He's had to go sideline to sideline a lot, but he's an explosive player. Seen finally make a break on the ball there, able to get his hands on the play. Not able to complete it, Again, people always joke that's probably why he plays defense back. Well, you don't understand how much harder it is to try and catch a ball when it's not intended for you. Just a great play, great feat of athleticism. Now, Taylorsville with an opportunity to try and get something positive going.
Got some fireworks going off in the distance. I'm trying to figure out what's happening tonight. But on first down after the turnover on downs, once again on first down, another run.
Leland Occo again on the carry.
And another loss 2, maybe 3 yards there on first down.
There's only so many running plays that you can run. You know what I mean? And you can try and go outside. You can try to go inside. You can try trap. You can try draws. You can try counters. You can try powers. You can do a million different things. At the end of the day, you still got to try and move a man against his will from one spot to the other, and that's just been a really tough task for Taylor.
Especially when they're guessing right, because they're not guessing right.
Yeah.
As a Raiders fan, I remember a Sunday night game, 7 straight first down runs. That was in the second installment of Art Shell. Yeah. The lesser of the 2 installments of Art Shell.
Well, and one benefit, wow.
The pressure was coming, and man, I tell you what, you used to want to see some moxie of a young man that's grown up tonight.
Cole Kramer with the heads-up play.
That kid, he wants to live. That one.
3rd and 11.
It'll be 3rd and 11.
Well, I don't blame him. And maybe the fastest he's moved all night. But the only thing that's sad about that is it's the West Side defense that's moving in faster. Great swim move there from the left defensive end. And just, we talk about it. They're not guessing on first down. They know exactly what's going on second down. And at this point, it really doesn't matter because they've been so good on the back end that whatever things this defensive line does wrong, they know that they got guys on the back end to cover for them.
I'm sure they know. I saw Kirkman on the sideline in crutches, so I don't know if he had a twisted ankle or what. So he is not – they're not trying to hide him out there in a different number. It's going to be double pass. Had him, man, just for a moment. Saw the pressure coming, got away, and it's going to be a big run at the 40, making room to the 45, first down midfield. Still on his feet and going is Manua Faloa, and he turned it over at the end.
with the nice play.
All the moves.
Not
and then
what's going on.
And a turnover at the end. Well, we're still waiting for the official call.
I don't want to speculate too much. It did look like he lost the ball there at the end for sure, but it does look like the West Side defense is going off the field.
Well, we have a flag back in the backfield, which can tell you holding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and really tough when you reverse field on it, especially on a trick play like that where it's designed to go deep. Thought he had the wide receiver
I thought
there,
he had
hesitated
him.
just a little bit too long. And then again, who can blame this Taylorsville offense for hesitating because those defenders from West have been closing so fast all night long.
And they're seeing ghosts, as Sam Darnold once quipped.
Better ghosts than dead people. And be seeing themselves with the way that defense is flown around tonight.
Well, they're still trying to figure out what happened here, and I'm a little surprised that it's this much of a conversation. But Faliola had the first down. We're marking it. You see them, they're pointing behind, so I'm still trying to figure out what this is.
Yeah.
And they're saying, Taylorsville football going to the ball boy.
Hey, we'll trust number 17. He's out there having a conference with the officials.
He's like, ready to swap out.
Good work by him over there gathering some intelligence.
And it's a penalty on West. Starting at 15 yards on top of the run from Faliola, which they said he was down before losing the football.
Yeah, and again, one of those situations where we don't have the jumbotrons or the replay or anything like that. So, we're going to have to go with whatever the officials are calling there on the field. But a very positive result for Taylorsville on that one, as thought he was dead to rights over here, reverses field, able to escape. And we haven't seen a whole lot of Faliola tonight in terms of running the football. Again, primarily a defensive player. Yeah.
Remember, he had the fake punt.
Mm-hmm. That is an earned.
He is the leading gainer tonight.
Earned.
He had the fake punt, went for plus 20.
First down, Warriors!
And you all got to hear it at home, just as we heard it here. So, first down inside the 30-yard line. Only second trip inside the 30 tonight.
The tie bunch out here.
They're going to throw to Faliola, and he looks for a move, and
Yeah, if I saw Ryder Messina, I would try to
Manu
get my
again
way
with
out of
the
there,
reception,
too.
picks
A
up
gain
a
of
couple
1.
yards.
Westside said, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. As he tried to cut against the grain again, and just nothing there as they were able to button him up on the bubble screen there. But, that's kind of been the only real offense that Taylorsville has had so far, is that little tight bunch formation out there outside the hash. And you're looking to try and generate anything right now if you're Taylorsville. I think you've got to get the ball in Faliola's hands as much as possible, because he's been the one to make a difference.
Showing a little single high here. Second down 9, pressure coming. Messina gets to the backfield, got away from him at first, and it'll be a sack. Nearly got back to the line of scrimmage. Cole Kramer brought down. And on the stop for the West Panthers is number 52. That is Pututau. That's Tui Pututau bringing him down.
Yeah, another one of those big guys up front, a senior, one that's kind of come on the scene a little bit late in terms of the recruiting cycle. But you do have to believe, with his size, 275 there, and especially, you watch him on that play, the way he's able to recover and make the tackle on a very speedy quarterback. That's why colleges are looking at these guys from West and saying, yeah, we believe that you're a scholarship player. We believe that you could come and play for us today.
Well, I think there's some fans from the 8th Island, from a high school on the islands across the way. 3rd down and 10. Going to go to the ground, and nothing there. And how about once again, it's Monty Brown coming in with the plays. It'll be probably and potentially the final play of the quarter.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for anybody else this weekend to put up a stat line like he has. And it's just, it nonstop again. But you can see he is a player that understands what he has in front of him in the defensive line. And he knows his role, and he feels it extremely well.
Finish strong.
And that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. We go to the 4th, and it is all West. Panthers lead 35-0. You are watching Panther football on the Rewind Sports Network, presented by Faucia Construction.
For over 25 years, Salt Lake Running Company has helped people of all ages and levels find the gear they need to start their fitness journey. From a free custom shoe fit analysis to a premium assortment of footwear and workout essentials, SLRC is a top 10 run shop in America. Locally owned, locally operated at 5 locations along the Wasatch Front, SLRC is there to help you gear up and get out. Visit a store near you or shop online at slrc.com.
Start of the 4th quarter, Dusty Litster and Brian Brown, and we're going to start the 4th quarter the way we ended the first half. It'll be a field goal attempt here, different kicker for Taylorsville. This is their long-distance field goal kicker, looking for a 47-yarder. Good snap, and go fake. Looking downfield, nothing doing, going to try to tuck and go. Got to get to the 18. He gets cut down. And who else? Tymani Brown, who blocked the field goal attempt at the end of the half. And this one turns it over on downs, being Johnny on the spot, reading and making the stop.
Well, I don't know what his future career is, but if I ever need a bodyguard, that's the guy that I want out there, because when it's chaos, he is cool as the other side of the pillow, and things are going crazy. He flies right upfield, able to pull down the Taylorsville offensive player before he's able to convert it, and just a lot of different things going on there, right? Fake pass, runs around, thought they had an open field, and the way Brown is able to just dive in there, wrap up, pull him down by the ankle, just a tremendous play.
Top 5 plays on my giveaway. What can Brown do for you? Earthing. 1st and 10 from the 22 for the Panthers, and new quarterback as we would expect out there, but going to keep it on the ground with Rona, and Rona is piled up for a short gain of 1, maybe 2. They're being taken down and long.
Well, he didn't get nearly as many yards as the left side of that West offensive line did. My new favorite player, Nuka Mafi, had his guy 10 yards downfield. Not quite a a baptism into the pancake platoon, but one of the best get-offs I've seen all night. And you love seeing that from your guys who are your studs and your stars this late in the game.
And no, that is not Cannon DeVries in the backfield. That is that is Louis Hamilton. And Louis going to keep it on the ground here. And another big hit. There for
on
the
the carry.
Taylorsville
Nice tackle
defense.
by Malachi
The two
Peterson,
shortest
line of scrimmage. No gain.
The two
on
shortest
the play.
runs tonight is that was I thought it was Brandon Gustman on the stop. They're saying Malachi Peterson.
Finally starting to hear some pads popping a little bit. You know, that Taylorsville, nothing to lose at this point.
Yeah, I would say last game of the year quote from Waterboy, but, you know, it's not last game of the year.
No.
Can't hold anything back now.
It's your last game of the year against West. We'll give them that much.
So, two receivers at the top of the screen, one near side for Hamilton. And I believe Vainuku comes in the backfield, and it will be Vainuku, and he keeps that average going. He's got the first down and more across the 40. Vainuku pirouettes his way across the 45, dives to the 48.
Number 26
First and
with
10,
the carry.
Panthers.
It's like
Well, shades, you know, Junior Solovi came from East High School over to West, brought kind of shades of that East High offense there. You know, watching Nuku Mafi come down the way Paul Miley used to, just shoving that entire Taylorsville defensive line over the other side and creating a massive hole, ends up being a 20-yard gain.
And they're going to run here. Hamilton, maybe a little miscommunication on that play. The snap was off a little bit.
Wildcat play to
Thought
number
maybe he was in a
32,
shovel
no
there.
gain on the play.
Go a little U-pass on that one.
Tackle
Yeah, I mean, just
Warrior defense again.
really dipping in the bag of tricks tonight for West High. I guess nobody on offense wants to go hang out with Farmer Fran tomorrow after practice.
Yeah, Joe, I got all kinds of voices we can pull out.
Now's the time, Dusty.
Yeah. Hey, I've ridden a boat with Farmer Fran. At least one of his relatives. Gone bow fishing just south of New Orleans.
Did you get
That
her?
is a time. I'll show you some pictures.
One of my favorite places to visit, and I know that sounds crazy because big guys and massive humidity don't do well together.
But the food and massive guys.
My kind of people.
By Matthew Griffiths.
If you're ever heading to Big Easy,
Short
go get
gain
the
on
best
play. It'll
brunch
bring up
spot,
a
the
big
Velvet
fourth
Slipper.
down for that defense.
That place is money. And by the way, Cafe Du Monde is worth it. Everyone talks about it, but it is worth it. But if you ever go down there, you go a little boat fishing. I'm telling you, that is a hoot and holler.
There's one thing I didn't get a chance to do when I went to Louisiana, but definitely went to Du Monde. The food down there is just incredible. I mean, po' boys in every corner.
Oh.
Can't go wrong.
Lived there for 5 months. Never a bad meal.
And you brought it all home with you,
Didn't
didn't
eat anything I would eat at home the whole time.
My favorite thing is anytime an NFL player signs with New Orleans, they talk about how they gained 15 pounds the first month.
Yeah, timeout on the field. We'll dig it with them. 8:32 left in the fourth. You're watching West High football presented by Falcia Construction.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Speak Cajun.
They're down and 7. Hamilton gonna throw. Fire to the flat. Vainuku with the grab. Vainuku with the first down. Dives toward the 40. Mark him at the 41. It'll be first and 10.
26.
Yeah, creative little action out of the backfield as you see Vainuku initially back there as a personal protector, slips the block, able to get out in the flat. Nice throw, I should say. Well, it was a nice show.
It was a nice show, yeah.
And able to convert for first down.
So Vainuku's just kind of put himself on the map here tonight. Is Hamilton going to fire deep, going for a rail shot.
Ooh.
And a little mistimed leap there. Falls incomplete. That pass intended for West High's number 19, Staten Havili.
Yeah, and Havili is a young guy that they're really high on. I think they have a lot of expectations. You know, we've said that about a few players tonight, but Havili is especially one that they're just kind of waiting to break through. And again, we talked about it at the very beginning of the broadcast. This is a Westside program laden with talent, but we're waiting to see them really establish themselves as one of the top teams in the state.
We want to have that best game. I don't know if they found it yet, and I think that's a positive. Got plenty of room to find that best game. It's 2nd and 10. Hamilton again over the middle, and it's through the hands of the defensive
Jordan
back.
Carl with
Carl would have had pick number
interception.
2, but it goes through his hands. In his head,
Bring up 2nd down.
He was already in the end zone. He was making moves.
You can see by his reaction just so much regret there, you know. And those are the ones that are the hardest, is that right there in your head. And I'm not speaking from experience because nobody ever threw me any passes.
I'll tell you right now, there'll be a time where he's about 26, 27 years old. He's going to have a dream about it again.
Yeah.
I was in Montrose, Colorado, and I can still think of one that went through the hands.
Yeah, I think you always remember the ones that you missed on, right?
Yeah. Heard Jan Jorgen say, it's okay.
The eloquent as always, Jan Jorgensen.
3rd down to 10. Ooh. Tip 10, incomplete. Nice job by this Taylorsville defense.
Yeah.
3 times tonight they've stopped them on 4th down. They're going to have a chance to get a 4th.
I believe.
Yeah, seeing some fire there from this defense now, and that's good to see. Again, this has been a tough game. West jumping ahead early, and then you had the delay here in the second half with the injury. You know, so you never know how your team is going to respond. And I think if you're this Taylorsville coaching staff, you love seeing these guys step up to the challenge. You know, and yes, West does have some of their backups in here, but that's all the more reason for you to really prove how much closer it was than maybe the score indicates for Taylorsville.
4th and 10. Hamilton hit as he throws. The ball flutters a little bit, and Carl does get his 2nd pick of the night. Got away from one, won't get away from Holbrook as he's then brought down the 12-yard line. But we got a penalty flag on the field. We'll see if it's a hold or if it was a
change of possession stops the clock. But
what it was right now, it's the 2nd pick for Carl. But it looks like it's going to be against East because they're going to come and have a conversation with the Taylorsville sideline.
And you see the white hat there signaling that it's holding against West, and I doubt that they're going to refuse the turnover there. Again, Carl making the play a lot harder this time than it was before. You know, and he had visions of touchdowns dancing in his head previously. That time really had to put the work in. But again, we talk about response, right? You want to see your team respond every single time. And Phillips just kind of throwing that one up there, you know, and again, that's what you expect from your backup quarterback. And people are sitting at home saying, why are you throwing it when you're up 35-0 with 6 minutes left? It's because you have a backup quarterback.
Yeah, let them do it.
Yeah.
I've never understood the dislike when you got a backup in there.
Taylorsville declines and retains the
This has been great.
possession.
This has been great football. This has been fun. It's been entertaining, and you've seen Taylorsville respond.
Down Warriors!
Again.
Brought to you by Marcosian Auto, Oakwood Homes, All
In
Valley
case you didn't know
Dental,
from our
Collins
broadcast, it's a first down for the Warriors.
All wrapped in one, folks.
But I've always been one. Hey, if I get backups in, let them go play football. You know, let them go do it. You're not trying to rub it in. You're not trying to do anything else. Like
these kids don't want to go out there and play patty cake. They work hard in practice every day, just the same as all the starters do, and they want to go out and compete just the same. That's part of the reason why you sweat your way through the summer and work so hard.
They're going to keep it on the ground. And it is Akko once again, and nothing doing as he is slammed to the turf. That's one of the things you never want to be the backup, and all you got to do when you come in offense. 26 blast, 23 blast, 26. Well, at least give me a fake 26 blast with the backside George reverse.
Yeah, or even an annexation of Puerto Rico there. You know, anything to kind of like loosen things up a little bit. But you see, again, Akko, we've got backups in here mostly for the West. You know, I don't see Messina in there anywhere, so I'm assuming that's what it is. 6 and 3, it looks like.
Yeah, on the stop there was number 6, and that is Engilau, Lema Engilau.
Yeah, senior.
At least go with a little Jonathan Moxon oop dude. 2nd down and 9. Go back to the ground once again. Breaks a couple of tackles. Powers his way across the 15 to the 17-yard line.
Picks up a few more yards.
And credit to Akko. He's had a really rough night because he's just been running into white jerseys all the time. And those are big, strong, physical jerseys at that. You know, and you're seeing even with the backups, those guys are flowing hard and fast, able to finally get a little bit of yardage going. But again, as Akko comes off the field, yeoman's-like effort, not going to be reflected in the stats. You know, but a lot of kudos and credit to that kid for hanging in there.
You know, he's be tempted to ask mom and dad to stay home from school tomorrow.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Chicks dig scars.
You're going to miss out on opportunities, man. 3rd down and 5. Going to keep it on the ground on 3rd and 5 and going to lose a couple of yards
on
to
the carry.
15. And the punting unit will come on once again for the Warriors. This might be the final possession.
It'll bring up 4th down.
This clock continues to run under 4:20 left.
Yeah, again, in one of those situations, you know, we've seen such good output from this Taylorsville defense up until this point. Kind of maybe hope that you open things up a little bit there, but I understand the reticence. You're up against your own goal line. You know, you've done some positive things already in the run game. Maybe try and push the envelope a little bit more. Hope that you get a breakthrough there, just not able to happen.
And they're still short one man, so they had one come off.
They're probably going to have to burn a timeout
on the outside,
here.
yeah. They're still calling for a gunner. Thought Faliola would go running out there, but we got Lyman. The Cal will go in, but it's like, no, we need a gunner.
Yeah. Well, that's a Lyman's dream right there. Put me on the egg, coach.
Hey, I want to go
Run
outside the
fake.
numbers. What do I do out here? Well, they're going to punt it with 10.
Oh, boy.
And the shortest punt of the night. But that does take a Warrior hop into the hands. That's a dangerous return and nearly spitting out the back end of that one. I love the effort there from Isaiah Engelau.
Return by number 1 gets tackled by Talon Brady.
Danger was definitely the theme of that entire sequence, Dusty, as it was a dangerous snap from Taylorsville. Not a great kick. An interesting, awkward bounce. And you see Engelau field the ball, fields it cleanly, and good for him having that kind of confidence. That's the kind of confidence that you have as a sophomore football player, where you haven't seen that go wrong a million times in your history.
And
we've got a little bit of confusion out here on the west side.
Yeah,
of the ball
we're
as well.
missing a lineman. But remember, the clock's still running. I was just singing a song from Karate Kid. Danger everywhere I turn. When he's trying to run away, the Halloween party. Their dance is Hamilton is tackled for a gain on
on
one.
the carry.
Well, the danger right now is
number 28,
inside
Brandon
all of
Gusman.
us, Dusty.
Short
Trying to make
game.
sure that we get home
Depending
safely
on-
tonight.
Yeah, wherever you are, hopefully this starts your football weekend off. And got Red Zone coming up tomorrow night. Jeff Hansen and myself. Brian's going to be back with JT Wistersill, as they always are about 3 times a week. I'm being facetious on the.
If I had a wife, she'd probably be jealous of how much time I spend with JT. There's no doubt about that.
But they'll be out at Stansbury for Cedar Valley versus Stansbury. Dane Stewart and Moose Bingham will be at Bountiful High School. Got a big Region 5 tilt tomorrow night.
Yeah, that'll be a fun game. Excited about that one. Not too jealous of Dane and Dusty, because I'm really excited to go watch our guy Easton out at Stansbury. And he is our guy, even though he is committed to the Cougars. I have to be clear about that.
He's everybody's guy until he's actually there, right? But Easton Baker has been an absolute animal. You got he and Helu, who is a future Ute.
Yeah.
But you got the Triple H out there. You got the game. You got Harris, Helu, and Hamilton. That is a potent offense for the Stansbury Stallions.
It is, and it'll be an interesting matchup. You know, Cedar Valley is a team that's really come on late into the scene and been a strong performer, but it's a consistent program. You know, they've been building things for a long time out there. So I'm excited to see what a team like Cedar Valley can do coming in essence, into the Lions Den, the Stallions Den, I guess it is.
Yeah,
out there for
out to the corral.
Mm-hmm, yeah, the pen.
Hey, all I know is I took horses into this circle a lot to go break them in, and you don't do that with Stallions.
Mm-hmm.
But the Wild Stallions, go to the garage. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Strange things may be afoot at the Circle K, but I tell you what, there's going to be an awesome football game out in Stansbury. Come out and say hi.
Yes.
Bring JT a cookie. You can throw water balloons at me or something.
You don't bring JT a cookie. You ask JT to bring you a cookie from Mama Wistersill.
Yeah, that's a real request. We're going to keep her busy tomorrow.
You'd never believe that woman is so sweet and so well, you believe she's sweet, but she's as tiny as she is for the cookies she makes. Mercy.
Well, she's got some giant children. JT's no slouch.
Well, we got the lumberjack hanging out, Jack down in northern Arizona.
He's 6'7", about there?
Yeah, about there.
Yeah.
Every bit of it.
Mm-hmm. They covered the football and the basketball side of the spectrum with both those boys.
So second down 10, or probably second down 9. I think he was having conversations with coaching staffs about, hey, let's get out tonight.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit of chirping going on there. Let's just get out tonight. Is Hamilton going to throw? Going to run. He's got plenty of grass in front of him. Hamilton inside the 25 to the 20. Still on his feet at the 15 and cut down at the 14-yard line.
Yeah,
Man, that parted for him. They went a little flood concept and everything opened up.
Part of the reason he was able to find so much green grass was Samisi Falatea with another enrollee in the pancake platoon there. You don't often see that in pass protection. I'm going to stay away from the debate about whether or not that's a hold. I'm out of my element there, Donnie, if we're talking about it, because I just think it's great football. The result, though, is a positive for West High.
Louis going to throw. Pressure comes, gets away from it. We got a flag on the play. It's going to be a holding penalty most likely as Hamilton dives inside the 5-yard line, all for naught. As he'll get a chance to gain 10 extra yards as the clock is going to near the 1-minute mark.
If that isn't the credo of the offensive lineman, I jinxed it. As soon as I talk about it, they get the holding penalty. But that doesn't, it negates the play. It doesn't negate the memory of Louis Hamilton. And you can see the athleticism, the shiftiness, his ability to move the ball with his legs. And it's a tough situation when I think this is where high school sports differentiates from what we see Saturday and Sunday so differently, right? You have very different players that have very different skill sets. And so that's a challenge for this West High coaching staff. If there is anything that ever happens to Suey, they've really got to modify the offense. Yeah,
super young. And it's what Ask East High School that's been the last few years. They've had to go with really young guys and inexperienced players to fill in for quarterbacks that would run the offense they want to run it.
Yeah.
The favorite formation of the coaching staff comes on, the victory formation. We'd never know the name Herm Edwards if this formation had existed for the Giants back in the late 70s.
I want to thank Wes for coming.
But Hamilton takes a knee
today, and
that'll do it.
Everyone
Brian, as we're wrapping up here, your final thoughts and selection of a player of the game.
I think final thoughts are that Wes is everything that we kind of thought they were, and the unique thing about it is they showed it in a way that I didn't necessarily expect with 2 touchdowns from the defense tonight. But this is an extremely talented football team. You always wonder, I don't want to call this a trap game necessarily because they are better, 1 through 11 on both sides of the ball. But they showed up, focused, not a ton of mistakes, very clean game, very solid effort for this West football team. And I think, it's just really, really hard to choose anybody other than Taimani Brown as the player of the game tonight.
You passed the test. That was a test of who we were to go with because either it was Messina until Taimani Brown had the pick 6 block kick. You got the stop on the fake punt, and he also
he got the safety.
Got the safety too. I mean, my goodness gracious, he did get the bingo card.
Yeah.
Bingo, you got him.
I think he was probably in double digits in tackles as well, and if nothing else, he made me proud to be a Brown. So that right there seals the deal for him.
They get our final score: the West High Panthers 35 and the Taylorsville Warriors 0. Our player of the game, Taimani Brown. Again, go to Heidemann Associates at utah.law. We want to thank Heidemann Associates being our presenting sponsor, also our sponsor of our player of the game. For Vince Francis, Austin Bigelow, and Brian Brown, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and for watching West High Football on the Rewind Sports Network, presented by Faucia Construction.